Nicki Minaj just came through with receipts and they're wild.
And it's a lot of rappers behind the scene that want to talk about it and they're scared. But sweetheart, I'm not scared. I'm legendary in these streets. You know how many artists I've spoken to behind the scenes that are too afraid to speak up?
So you'll speak. We'll speak, y'all.
I'm gonna speak because y'all can't touch me. I am completely protected. I am protected by God. Y'all don't see that by now?
She's straight up accusing Roc Nation of masterminding a setup operation targeting rappers, and she's dropping names.
Rapper Nicki Minaj was the apparent target of a swatting call last night at around 7 p.m. The LA County Sheriff's Department received a call claiming an assault with a deadly weapon had occurred at the Grammy winner's Hidden Hills residence.
Jay-Z and convicted criminal turned government informant Desiree Perez.
All right. Remember when Jay-Z said this?
I think we passed kneeling.
Let me play it again. This time, look at the reaction of the lady sat just behind him.
You got to be working with him. As far as I'm concerned, Roc Nation is run by a couple. You know what I'm saying? Why would people think the government don't run businesses? You don't think by right now that they ain't got a major rapper that's a snitch, that's a informant?
But Nicki ain't just tossing around rumors. She's connecting Roc Nation to Tory Lanez' sentencing, 6ix9ine's snitch label, Casanova's RICO charges, and even more messy cases.
Prevent me from making wrong.
The incident started on March 27th of last year.
So legally, I can't go home.
No.
Why?
Demore Hadley says she was lured to that parking lot by someone posing as a potential client for the landscaping company she runs with her then boyfriend, now husband.
She said her mom didn't just play dirty. She went full-blown cartel with it. Once she told Desiree she wasn't leaving her husband, that's when things got real grimy.
Artists have no clue what is happening. Y'all don't know what the we go through. At the workplace, you know how many women, I said this on Twitter, get strategically blackballed out of their positions when they're a little too strong, when they're a little too smart, and get told that they're angry black women and they're having a breakdown?
And here's the crazy part. What ties all these situations together? Speaking out against Desiree Perez.
Legally, I can't go home.
No, you cannot.
Why?
Because you're being Baker active.
Body camera video shows the moments Broward deputies encouraged Demore Hadley to get into this pickup truck with people she says she didn't know.
I can't ride with you and you guys take me?
You're going to be in handcuffs, so dog's not going to be able to come?
No, I don't want to be in handcuffs.
Okay.
Demore says they took her to a hospital for a mental health evaluation after this doctor signed paperwork saying she was a risk to herself.
What he told me was, we received a call from your family that you tried to OD the night before.
A doctor she says she'd never met before.
Your mom, it's like your aunt.
Okay.
And according to Demore, it's her own mother who's behind it. In this lawsuit, she claims her mother, Desiree Perez, used unlawful means to have Demore falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act.
So she's the CEO of Roc Nation, a company that she owns along with Sean Carter, the famous rapper Jay-Z.
But hold up, it gets even wilder. Desiree's own daughter came out backing Nicki. She's claiming her mom had her locked in a mental institution for no reason at all. So let's be real. If Desiree could do that to her own flesh and blood, what might she try against Nicki? Especially now that Nicki's out here leaking evidence suggesting Roc Nation is working hand in hand with the government. And if you're thinking, this sounds too wild to be true, go check for yourself. Desiree's daughter already exposed her. And guess what? No major mainstream outlets dared to cover it. But that's exactly why Nicki's speaking up, dropping hard proof that Roc Nation might be in bed with the feds. And if this is real, that means any rapper who dares to speak out could be next, including Nicki herself.
She has been through some trauma and some abuse with Roc Nation, with Desiree Perez, with other individuals. They've abused her. They've abused of her platform. They've abused of her talents. They've abused of her freedom of speech. They've abused her family. They've attacked her husband. They've attacked her child. And it's sad. It's really sad.
So here's what Nicki actually put out. A screenshot alleging Roc Nation and Desiree Perez have been working with federal authorities to monitor artists, using their legal troubles to control them like puppets. And it doesn't stop there. The screenshot describes Desiree as a confidential informant for federal law enforcement. This ain't no random DM either. It's pulled straight from a lawsuit filed by Desiree's own daughter, Demore Hadley. According to those court docs, Desiree allegedly forced Demore into a mental institution with no medical justification. Demery even shared body cam footage of the exact moment she was dragged away and claims her mother orchestrated the whole setup. Now wait till you hear the straight-up sick reason Desiree had her own daughter locked up in a mental institution. According to Demore's complaint, Desiree flexed her money, power, and influence to tear apart Demore's marriage to her husband, Javon Hadley.
Roc Nation, my mother, Desiree Perez, all these law firms, Quinn and Emanuel, Reed Smith, they have a lot of money and connections and resources. It's really sad. Somebody so resourceful, talented, high profile as Nicki Minaj being targeted. It should really scare the American people. It should really scare you guys too, right? Because I'm the daughter, so it's like at this point, if it's happening to me, I think she's really outspoken, and I'm grateful that she's being outspoken on it, because I think she's almost saying it like, well, it happened to me, it's happening to her, let me speak up on it, nobody is safe right now.
Demory says her own mother threatened to Baker Act her if she didn't divorce Javon, referring to Florida's infamous involuntary psychiatric hold law, officially called the Florida Mental Health Act of 1971. For those who don't know, the Baker Act allows cops, judges, or mental health pros to forcibly detain someone for up to 72 hours if they're deemed a danger to themselves or others because of mental illness. Sounds serious, right? But here's where it gets dark. The real reason Desiree allegedly wanted her daughter to split from Javon? Because he's black. That's right. Desiree Perez, the woman Jay-Z handpicked to run Roc Nation, is being accused of flat-out racism. According to Demore's lawsuit, Desiree grabbed her daughter and said, "I'm going to Baker Act you if you stay with that N-word. I will have you committed." And Demory didn't stop there. She backed her claims with stacks of medical records proving she was sober and completely mentally sound when her mom had her committed. Demory posted those receipts on X, Twitter, exposing fake Instagram pages, blogs, and burner accounts allegedly paid off to spread lies about her. In her post, she wrote, "I had blood work, urine screens from 3 different places on separate occasions, and even a hair follicle test that shows over 3 months of history for any drug use. I've got over 10 years of primary care visits and full screens. I've never done drugs. I've never drunk alcohol."
Earlier this month, officers arrived at Minaj's home around 6 p.m. to investigate a report that Nicki's 3-year-old son was being abused. After examining the toddler, officers determined he was safe and they left, but another call was made in the early morning hours, and around 3 a.m. Minaj and her family were awakened after a fire was reported at her home. Firefighters arrived and found no flames. Swatting is a term used by law enforcement officials used to describe an act of making a false report in order to get a response from police that can involve an armed SWAT team.
Now here's how all this ties back to Nicki Minaj. Nicki's been sounding the alarm about Desiree Perez and Jay-Z for years. But people just laughed it off, called her bitter, and ignored the warnings. Remember when Nicki and Megan Thee Stallion were trading diss tracks last year? Yeah. There's more to that story than most folks realize. That's when Nicki clapped back hard, threatening to air out Desiree's shady business moves and accusing her of firing a bunch of Roc Nation employees for no reason. Nicki even teased on a track. On the next song, I delve into all the people Desiree allegedly fired for unknown reasons. So many were blindsided and hurt by her. Then she added, "She's willing to go broke to try to replace me. Fix it, Jesus."
Rapper Nicki Minaj was the apparent target of a swatting call last night at around 7 p.m. The LA County Sheriff's Department received a call claiming an assault with a deadly weapon had occurred at the Grammy winner's Hidden Hills residence. The caller claimed somebody had shot a black female adult, and 2 suspects wearing all black were still on the property. But when deputies arrived at Minaj's residence, there was no evidence of any crime.
But here's the tea. The employees weren't just fired at random. Word is, they were allegedly let go because they were Nicki Minaj fans. And now, Desiree's own daughter, Demerey, is stepping up to co-sign Nicki's claims. Demerey's saying Roc Nation and her mom have done some truly horrific things behind the scenes to sabotage Nicki's career. In a recent interview, Demerey claimed Roc Nation even came after her own family, targeting her husband and even her young son. It's beyond messy. Demerey also drew a chilling comparison between what Nicki endured and her own forced hospitalization. She warned that Desiree and Roc Nation are way more dangerous and calculated than most people could ever imagine. After seeing Demerey's lawsuit and interviews, Nicki jumped on X with a fiery response. "To the PMs who claim it wasn't made clear to your ugly asses, hopefully Demerey's massive, detailed, page-by-page claim gets you all the way caught up. And, never call me a liar. Never insinuated either. Every single angel ever created fights for me at the mere mention of that word as it relates to me. Vengeance is the Lord's. Be careful. No one who conspired on the wrong side will go unpunished for the role they played in this movie. I hope it was all worth it. Nicki then confirmed what fans were whispering. Roc Nation really did go after her husband and child. She claimed people in high places are still plotting to rip a husband away from his wife and family. Now this next part, it's straight up insane. You probably remember how Nicki's house got swatted multiple times starting in mid-2023. Well, according to Nicki, that wasn't some random troll messing around. She says it was all part of Roc Nation's twisted campaign to intimidate her. The first swatting went down when someone called the cops claiming Nicki was harming her own child. LAPD rushed to her house, did a full investigation, and found nothing. But just hours later, another call came in saying there was a fire at Nicki's address. Again, cops pulled up, and again, it was bogus. But it didn't stop there. Just a few weeks later, Nicki got targeted yet again when someone made a fake report saying she had been shot. Police showed up in full force, and once more, they found zero evidence of any crime. According to the LA Times, the LA County Sheriff's Department received a 911 call about an incident in Hidden Hills, where the caller claimed a friend shot a black woman. But it turned out to be another swatting. A neighbor even confirmed to the LA Times that law enforcement had responded directly to Nicki's residence. This wasn't random. It wasn't a one-off prank. This was coordinated, repeated, and clearly meant to scare Nicki into silence. And all of it went down during the exact same window when she was publicly calling out Roc Nation and hinting there was something way bigger going on behind the scenes. So when Desiree's daughter says Roc Nation is willing to destroy people who don't play along, and Nicki starts getting swatted while her child is being dragged into the chaos, you've got to ask, was this part of their playbook? Was Roc Nation sending a message? Because at this point, none of it feels random anymore. And don't forget, Desiree Perez is no ordinary music exec. She's got a shady past as a convicted criminal turned government informant. And according to an explosive investigative account on X, Nicki was targeted because she exposed what no one else dared to say out loud. Roc Nation isn't just a record label. It's allegedly a front for federal operations targeting rappers. And at the center of it all, Desiree Perez herself. Back in 1994, Desiree Perez got caught up in a massive drug case, busted for possession of 35 kilos of cocaine and conspiracy to distribute illegal substances. Court records dug up by the New York Daily News show federal authorities charged her for being part of a criminal network that stretched from New York to Florida to Puerto Rico. But here's the kicker. Desiree wasn't rolling solo. Her husband, Juan O.G. Perez, was also caught up in the mix. And guess what? Juan happens to be one of Jay-Z's closest friends. These two go way back to the mid-90s when they launched the 40/40 Club together. Years later, Jay even made Juan Roc Nation's sports president. To this day, they're still tight as family friends. But let's circle back to Desiree's criminal past. You're probably wondering, what happened after she got busted with all those kilos? Shockingly, Desiree didn't do any hard time. Instead, she got off with 5 years probation because she flipped on her people, turning federal informant and even wearing a wire to help the feds lock up her former partners. A 2014 article in the New York Daily News reported the feds were thrilled with Desiree's snitch work, calling her their star mole. That same article painted Desiree as a Manhattan nightclub boss with a long criminal record and deep ties to hip-hop mogul Jay-Z. They even mentioned her wild history as a DEA cooperating witness and later, a fugitive on the run. Sure, Desiree eventually got a presidential pardon, but according to Nicki Minaj, that doesn't mean she stopped working with the government. Nicki's been saying it loud. Both Desiree and Jay-Z are government snitches. She claims Roc Nation isn't just a music label, it's a federal front, designed to set up rappers and keep the hip-hop world under tight government surveillance. So who are the artists Roc Nation allegedly set up? The most obvious example, Tory Lanez. Tory was convicted in December 2022 for allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion. But here's where things get sketchy. There were major cracks in the prosecution's case. Key evidence, like gunshot residue, didn't match the narrative that Tory fired the gun. Even worse, bullet fragments supposedly removed from Megan's foot mysteriously vanished. One doctor even claimed he removed bullet fragments himself, but the chain of evidence didn't add up. Detective Stogner, who testified during Tory Lanez's trial, admitted the bullet fragments cannot be located.
Goes to jail. They gave y'all all the facts of the juice of Tory Lanez going to jail and this, that, and the third, and Megan getting arrested and da-da-da-da. 2 days after that, I get a call from Roc Nation that says, yo, we heard you're gonna make a statement about what happened, and it'd be in your best interest if you don't make that statement.
Several witnesses even claimed it was a woman who fired the shots, not Tory. His own team raised serious doubts about the bullet trajectory and the chain of custody of evidence. And let's not forget, before his sentencing, Tory publicly accused Roc Nation of orchestrating the entire setup. Then, right after the guilty verdict, Tory's dad went off outside the courthouse, yelling at cameras that Desiree Perez, Jay-Z, and Roc Nation trade and barter the souls of young men. But Tory's not alone. Just like Nicki warned, any rapper who dares to push back or speak out against Roc Nation seems to end up tangled in legal trouble. Take 6ix9ine, for example. He was dragged through the mud, labeled the ultimate snitch for cooperating with the feds during his RICO case. But here's the detail no one talks about. He also went after Roc Nation and teamed up with Nicki to publicly call out Desiree Perez.
Got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes. Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it.
Then there's Casanova, another artist connected to Roc Nation, who suddenly got slammed with federal RICO charges. And the timing? Suspicious.
The rap game don't want y'all to know certain stuff, right? And I'm gonna expose the whole rap game right now because I got facts, right? This is what I do when I come on live. And shout out to the Queen Nicki. She'll be joining in just a few. She's an executive at Roc Nation. She's an executive at Roc Nation. You see her with Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? She's an executive at Roc Nation. There she goes right here, right? Let's see who Desiree Perez is, right? The story that spooked Dash revealed how Perez, the wife of longtime Jay-Z wingman Juan Perez, became a cooperating witness for the DEA in the 1990s. Again, this is public information. This is public information.
Casanova had just started to question Roc Nation's business moves when, bam, the feds came knocking. Even the way his indictment played out seems to follow the same pattern Nicki described. Get rappers locked into contracts, control them like puppets, and if they resist, burn them.
Casanova has officially been sentenced for his alleged crimes as a part of the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation gang. On Tuesday, June 27th, Casanova, whose real name is Caswell Sr., received 188 months, or 15 years behind bars from U.S. District Judge Philip P. Halpern.
But here's what's really wild. There are more names on Nicki's list. And it's not just rappers. We're talking managers, judges, executives, and even media insiders. If Nicki decides to drop everything she's holding, we might be watching Roc Nation collapse in real time. What do y'all think? Is this the beginning of the end for Roc Nation? Or will the machine fight back harder than ever? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if this blew your mind, and don't forget to subscribe for the next bombshell update.